Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name.
You tell me, say, make I know that everything's gonna be okay. You are the father to the fatherless, the miracle working God. You make the blind man to see. You made the cripple man to walk. You are the lily of Galilee. You make impossible possible.
Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. I woke up strong on a Monday. I go to gym on a Tuesday. Then to the studio on Wednesday. I walk it out till Thursday morning. I be chilling on a Friday. I play some shows on Saturday. If you ask me what my best day is, it's when I praise you on Sunday morning. I got my throat in my mind. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name.
We want to say good day and welcome to Family Connection Network, a forum where we share life-changing experiences and stay connected. We are here every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I know last week we were not here due to some technical problem, but we are back today. We're a full house, which we will be introducing shortly. If you watch our page this afternoon, you understand today we'll be hosting a group that's contesting the leadership of ULAA, the Union of Liberian Association in America. By a guy with me, Ben and Levi. Ben, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Solo. And again, it's a blessed day to always be on this forum with you guys. Thank God that we are still pushing it out as we should be doing. I'm looking forward to the discussion that we'll have today with our honorable guests that we have on this platform. We'll be discussing about ULA, organization that is in the United States, from my understanding. And I look forward to getting more information for my very self and even to our listening audience. So thank you back to you, Solo.
Thank you. Levi, welcome. How are you?
Well, thank you, Brother Solomon. It's a good to be here today. It's the last Sunday in the month of August. I mean, it's a very unique thing to be able to see the first and last Sunday, So again, I'm blessed, I'm honored to be on this platform. Uh, and moreover, can just wait to hear what our guests have to offer to the Liberian people, not only us that are in the studio, so that our people out there can be able to take their pens and paper and check down their question and judge them by what they're going to say come tomorrow. So I'm excited, I'm motivated, just waiting to get into the conversation. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Minister. And tonight, as we rightly said, we got with us Mr. Kamara, who is one of those contesting to become the president for the Union of Liberian Association in America, Mr. Menivo Graham, and Reverend Robert O'Rees, who is also contesting for Eastern Vice President. And since Menuva is going as a running mate So, Mr. Kamara. So tonight we want to say a very big welcome to them. We just want to go around the table. We start with the president, go to vice president, assistant vice president, at least for a short introduction. Mr. Kamara, we want to say thank you so much for accepting our invitation with your team to be here tonight. And welcome. How are you
Thank
doing?
you. Thank you.
Yeah, can you just give us a little introduction about yourself, at least just go around the table?
Well, my name is Shiwoh Kamara. I was born in Lofa County, and as at the age of 2, my family migrated, down to the coast. My father worked in BF Guru briefly, and then later on, I matriculated to Kakata, where I went to school, junior high school, and then went back to Monrovia and completed high school. And of course, went back to Kakata and completed, teacher training, and went back again to Monrovia and graduated from University of Liberia. Um, 22 years ago, precisely, I migrated to the United States with my beautiful wife. I have two beautiful girls, and then I have two grandchildren. I have, I work, most of my work and investment have been in social work. I have a master's degree from Wadena University in Master of Social Work. As a high school kid from the Williamville, top my high school, and then to university, KRTDI, I did a lot of work in student politics, and I have always ascribed to advocacy and social justice. I think everybody deserves a fair chance to life, and each of us sometimes are unable to tie our own bootstrap. Someone has to help us to do it. So that is the kind of core value that I hold. Of course, I served here as president of Liberian Association of Pennsylvania for 2 successful terms. I participated in many events in ULA. And of course, during conventions, I attended almost all conventions. I attended inaugurations. I attended, induction ceremony. And so, I'm very, very much invested in working for ordinary Liberians, to be able to bring the relevant change that is desired for them.
Thank you
And
so
so
much.
this is why I'm here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamara. I know you have a lot to, to, to give us tonight and to discuss tonight. So, Benula, just tell us a little about yourself.
Oh, well, I'm Minerva Grant. I was born in Maserado County, Morovia, right on Benson Street. Um, I have two beautiful children. I'm a grandmother. I have a master in health and human services administration. I presently work as a mental health and practitioner and a caseworker. My involvement with ULA started 2005 when I became the president for the Liberian Association in Madison, Wisconsin. And then later I came back, I moved Madison, Wisconsin president, and then later I moved back to Minnesota and I started being active with the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota.
We can hear you. I don't know what's happening.
Six,
Okay.
six term. Yeah, and presently I serve as the
I know. You're getting a call, right? There's some interruption from your end. Can you hear us? We're not hearing you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, just make a little bit of adjustment and maybe, yeah, we'll come back to you. We got with us also Robert Reese. Reverend Reese. Who's Reverend Reese? And how you became part of this whole ULA thing? Reese, you got to unmute yourself.
All right. I'm gonna be grateful to all of you for having us on your show again. being on my on your show again and with a couple of dignitaries. Uh, Robert Reeves, born in Liberia, went to uh, Hill Mission. From Hill Mission, graduated from STA. Went to Banga School of Theology. Graduated from Banga School of Theology. Spent 4 years studying theology. Came over in the United States. Went to Luther Seminary. Got a dual master degree in youth and family counseling, marriage and family, and pastoral care and counseling, and went over again to Dallas Baptist University, acquired another master in management, emphasis in mediation, negotiation, and here am I. I am blessed with a beautiful wife. We have 3 kids, and we serve the community with proud. I serve on the board of director for ULAB as the chairman of the board, and work with other previous stakeholders and president of ULAB, help them with their grant. And I right now serve as a board chairman for Roadside Promotion. I am still find myself and I still consider myself as a community worker, a social worker. Personally, I with the state of New York, I serving on the special project team, a team that takes care of lawsuit cases. I find myself in ULA back again, but I was not uh, ready yet. Now I am sure I am ready and I am on the team that have chosen me to come on board and work alongside with them. I'm very proud to say I will be running as the Eastern Region Vice President alongside with President Shiwoh and the VP Minerva Grant. And I'm blessed to be on the team and seeking change.
Thank you so much, Raven Reed. I think we got to go back to Sis Manure. Sure, in making some speech. So, Sis Manure, how did you get involved with this whole ULAW stuff? I think you're trying to give us a complete, yeah, at least we want to complete from you so we can come back to the president and dwell on this issue that is so major to us tonight.
Oh, I got involved when I became president for the Liberian Association in Madison, Wisconsin, because they are member of ULA. Although presently they are not really active, for the chapter member of ULA, so that how I became involved with ULA. And then afterward, I became the chairperson for the Elections Commission 2015. Yeah. Two elections we are conducted as election commissioner successfully, and then I became the director for the social service committee, and presently I am the regional vice president for the Northern region.
Thank
So
you.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I know this is a very big thing running on Mr. Kamara's ticket, Vice President, Regional Vice President, there are still other people, Secretary, and whatever. Mr. Kamara, why are you running to become President of ULA?
Thank you, Mr. Fasa. You know, ULA is the umbrella organization for all diaspora Liberian organizations. Meaning is that big melting pot that all of the organizations, especially in the United States, belong to. But in recent history, this melting pot has not attracted the it has not attracted Liberians to it. For example, many people now you speak to don't want to hear about Yola. That is because of the bad leadership. You know, the name recognition that Yola had in its 70s when it started as a student organization, that has been destroyed because you have individuals who have positions and they don't show any result. I'm running to change that. I'm running to reunify all of the chapters that left Yola either on their own volition or were suspended by the administration. I'm running to ensure that diaspora Liberians here can be able to, to empower themselves, you know, in our individual chapters. I'm running to kind of bring about youth programs so that when you and I fade away, our children will be able to replace us. I'm running to bring about the relevant changes about programs that each of us, for example, I'm thinking very strongly that in my first 100 days, I want to meet with all diaspora leaders, organizational leaders, so that they can tell us the direction that ULA will be able to take so that it attracts Liberians, and of course, so that our voice can be stronger. I'm running so that we can have a representation at the table. As it is, you know, ULA is practically dead. It demise. It needs to be resuscitated. When somebody makes that 3 a.m. call in the morning, the telephone is never answered and is not answered by the current leadership and those who even want to seek, you know, re-election. I hear that, you know, a new ULA, but they don't have a new ULA. They have a ULA that is decadent, a ULA that has been, you know, killed, a ULA that people don't even want to belong to. So my team and myself want to bring those changes that will make Liberians again to be proud, that will make Liberians to be happy that they have a new sense of direction and their union will be vibrant again. That's why I'm running as president.
I know that if people are running for position at level of ULA, they say almost the same thing you are saying. What set you apart from these other people?
Oh,
what do you see that is wrong with the current leadership of ULA, specifically that you would like to correct, if you like to?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Faza. Look here, the current president of the union and his vice president, that vice president who wants to be president of the union, right here in the eastern region where the president sits in Staten Island, you have Massachusetts that have been suspended from the union for the last 6-7 years. In Rhode Island, for some reason, has dismembered itself from the union. The president and his current vice president have not moved the needle once. And I'm not saying that conflict don't arise, but they haven't moved the needle once to even reach out to those chapters to make an attempt to bring them. When you read the preamble of ULA, one of the first things that it states is that it wants to unify all Liberians in the diaspora. So when I become president of the union, one of the things that I would do is, because when you become president, it's not only for one chapter, it's for all the chapters. Those chapters that left the union, I will be able to reach out to them through visitation. I will not only be the president who will be attending program, but I will go to chapter meetings, sit there, and try to find a way to reconcile those chapters back to the union. One of the things I will also do would be to reach out to the Eminent Council. Eminent Council are former board chair and former president. These people have wealth of knowledge. I will bring them back to the union so that they can be able to help us to chart a new course for the future. And then, of course, I will make Liberian proud again, you know, so that they can be a part of their union. For example, chapters, you know, chapters need to be empowered because people pay money to ULA. At the end of the day, they don't get any benefit. I would like to look at some of the programs that chapters can be able to empower themselves and replicate other things that will benefit their member chapters. So those are things that I would like to do and I would sit with individual chapters. I would try to open up, more chapters. And in fact, in my first 100 days, I really want to bring, together all diaspora Liberians. And what set me apart is this. When I was president for the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania, at that time, I hosted the first ever youth summit in 2008 where there were 300 kids. And what were the issues? The issue were gun violence in our community. The issue were social problems in the family. And so we were able to bring kids together and kind of decrease, the presenting problem that we had at the time. I would like to replicate that, and that sets me apart. I'm not going to sit on my hands. I'm not going to be the president who, when they call 3 a.m. in the morning, as it is now, will not be able to answer the phone. So with me and all of my co-members, we will bring a relevant change to ULAA.
If you're just joining us, this is Family Connection Network. And those who are following us, we got with us today Shiwoh Kamara, who's running to become president of ULAA, the Union of Liberian Association in America. Mr. Kamara, I see your agenda is built on 5 pillars. You said AEROU, advocacy. I'm concerned. Some past leaders of ULAA engage in the advocacy, go against the government of the day back home. At the end of the day, maybe after they leave ULAA, they go and get position. Is it not the same thing you're doing here today?
No, sir. I wouldn't thrive in that direction. And my records are clear. If I were looking for a position, I would have done that a while ago. But the things that keep me up, it says in the Bible, in Proverbs 29 and verse 18, I'm happy that there are 2 references here. It says, where there is no vision, the people suffer, right? So this current leadership lacks vision. It has no sense of direction, and Liberian people are suffering. What bothers me most, Mr. Faza, is when you have a crisis on hand, like yesterday in my neighborhood. In fact, 2 days ago, a child was killed, right? And, through a drive-by shooting. Sometime last week in Minnesota, the same thing, similar thing happened. I'm not going to be the president. I'm going to be the president who will be ready from day one and will be visible. I will not take a job while I'm still ULAA president as much as I'm qualified. I really want to fight for ordinary Liberian people so that we can be proud of our organization. And one of the ways I want to do that is to open the Washington, D.C. office again. This is the thing. Almost all of the immigrant communities in the United States have a seat in the White House. It is only Liberians. We don't have a seat in the White House. It's because we elect individuals who are ill-prepared, who are not willing to do the job, but all they want is to bear the title. We need to change that. I mean, for God's sake, are we not sick and tired of having the same people do dress or come to position through white ballot? Even those of us who are interviewing me now and my colleagues, you all know, people are just sick and tired of the same people. And election time, they want to come and say the same promises to you. These are demagoguery promises that they never achieve. But I can assure you, mine will not be about taking job in Liberia. It will be about giving the Liberian people the kind of result that they desire.
It's not about taking job or giving the Liberian people what they desire. If you are following us on our live Facebook field, on our YouTube channel, you have a question for this team, type your question, type your comment. We will read them to the team tonight, and they will endeavor to answer them. Ben? Ben, your audio, we can't get you. Gotta make some adjustment, Ben. All right, Ben, what Ben is doing some adjustment.
You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I think you're much better.
Okay, good. So I was saying, thank you so much, Brother Solomon, for having this wonderful panelist today to discuss the importance of ULAA, especially for we Liberians that live in the diaspora. Now, I just want to shift my questions a little bit over to the potential or upcoming vice president for ULA, who will be Ms. Grant. Ms. Grant, can you tell me a little bit, why have you decided to, in the first place, join the ticket of Mr. Kamara to be part of his leadership?
Thank you for the question. Well, and the last time somebody asked me the same question, like, but you part of this leadership that in position, why are you changing? And I like, with you that the constitution, I was voted independently. I was not on anybody and team when I became regional vice president. And even as chairman of the election commission, which is an independent body, I have no say in most of in the day-to-day activities of ULA. And I look out there and saw a lot of things going on that needed to be changed, that still need to be changed. And as regional vice president, yes, I can say things, I can propose things, but the hire people there that make the decisions. And if you have your one voice is there, you talking, but then you get 4 to 5 persons that don't want to listen, even if you go on the floor, you're not going to win. But I decided not to give up. And I noticed most of the time, especially we female, we end up like, I'm tired with these people. You keep talking, things need to change and people don't want to change. And people end up leaving organizations and going to other organizations that will do better. But I decided that no, I'm not going to leave the union. I'm going to stay here, and maybe I will find somebody that thinking like me, that want to see where Mr. Kamara carrying this union, and I will join him, and that's why I did, because like I was the chairperson for the elections commission. One thing my team and myself did after we conducted the elections, the fair election, we saw Liberia were about to conduct the election 2017. Yeah, when yeah, they want that the last election, yeah. And we're like, okay, like ULA fought for Liberia to get multiple party system. When ULA was founded, they founded as a student organization to help students that were coming in America to help these students then to get around. But then later they went the political side to advocate for the Liberian government to change from one party to multiple party system. Yes, it never came like, what I mean, came in a sacrifices come. Some people get hurt. Some people sacrifice when change happen. Some people lives go. Some people sacrifice their lives. But then when majority can enjoy it, that's good. And that's what happened to Liberia. So like, but it is time for Liberia for ULA to participate in the elections in Liberia. And how can we participate? Maybe by being observer. And so my commissioner myself were able to advocate, to talk with the election commission at that time. And Eula became observer. And up to this time, Eula still observer. Anytime Liberia is having election, national election, Eula can send representative to become observer. Those are things I want to see. And maybe it was good for me because at that time the president that was heading Eula, he wanted it. And so when we brought the idea to him, he said, go for it. But other things then, my region in right now, we have 2 chapters that they be active in the union. And when I became regional vice president, I talked to them. They have elections. They sent up to the president, Mr. Fofana, about this chapter coming back to the union. But because of politics and especially when an election here in Liberia, in the union, certain chapter they don't want them to come because they feel that this chapter will not be supporting the candidate. And so I will take example like one of the chapter is North Dakota. North Dakota be an active chapter in the union. North Dakota have a new leadership. I send the letter, they send their representative, everything, get the protocol, everything that ULA wanted, but up to this time, the president have not recognized them. But get it. he was quick to recognize that he had in leadership. And these people were had an election since last year. But because he didn't give all the right come back to, so up to this time, we get a chapter laying Tomac, they're not part of the union. And if you say you represented all the Liberians in the diaspora, you should be able to take Tumpo, hiccup to people that want to come and be part of the union. So those are the things I look at, and I see that's what Mr. Kamara stands for. I decided to join his team to see how we can carry the union forward into the 21st century and make the union for everybody, for all Liberians, to be able to work with all professional organizations, Liberian organizations, even non-Liberian organizations, and see how best we can serve our people through the chapters, and even see how we can help our people in Liberia to it. It shouldn't be about politics. Politics, we go in Liberia only to talk politics, but we should be going Liberia to see how we can help the human capacity there in the human services side, in the health side, in the educational side, how we can help those people. We have professionals in America yet that are willing to take sabbatical and go Liberia and train people. So, and I think that was Mr. Kamara going. And so that's why I decided to join his team.
Thank you so much, Ms. Grant. I really appreciate your insight and the reason for which you have decided to join Mr. Kamara on his ticket to become the potential vice president for the region that you are seeking to be the vice president for. Now, just for an ordinary man out there that might be listening to us that don't even know what is ULAA. I mean, we're just talking about ULAA. So, can you at least give us a little meaning to it? What is ULAA? When you say ULAA, what does it stand for? What has ULAA done in the United States for Liberians that live in the diaspora in general? Can you guys give us some information on that? This can be answered by any one of the three of you.
All right. So I will go. ULAA was the task force that brought the formation of ULAA in 1974. That task force was started in 1972. And in 1974, right here at Drexel University, that task force met, and that's how ULAA was born as a student organization. ULAA means Union of Liberian Associations in the Americas. It's an umbrella organization for all diaspora Liberians. Membership are chapter based, meaning each state is a chapter. Like for example, in New York, you have 3 chapters there. You have Staten Island, you have Manhattan, and you have Buffalo. Here in Pennsylvania, you have Liberian Association of Pennsylvania and Liberian Association of Greater Pittsburgh. So those states make up member chapters of ULAA. So ULAA is chapter based. When you hear sometimes people say the real owners of the union, that means that ULAA is made up of different chapters. So that is the composition of ULAA. When it was formed, just at that point, there was a wind that was blowing for change, especially when we had only one party system in Liberia. So although it was a student group that needed to guide itself towards education, but it quickly formed into a change agent to fight some of the vices in our society that led today to a multi-party democracy. So the air that you and I breathe today, that you can have one of us to be president in Liberia, I'm talking about indigenous people, ULAA contributed immensely to that change. Except this current administration, and I want to draw a parallel to that, except and besides this current administration, every other ULAA leadership tried very hard to do something in the homeland because people wanted to shift away from the normal politics to bring about, programs that will impact children. For example, President Gisler, when he was president, he he worked very hard to bring about a library project. Now, President Kony, when he came, he shifted towards education. At that time, this current president, Mr. Vama Fofana, was his vice president. And Vama Fofana is on record that he was going to commit himself to that school project. But Vama Fofana, since 2007, and of course, he brought my current, opponent in 2008, that school project has not been heard about. I personally even contributed to that school project. I'm still asking what happened to that money and what happened to the project. So ULAA has done some good things. And that's why I would like to continue. Like my vice president said, we want to engage in social services program in our homeland that will be able to help, children, even if it means that you can have people take sabbatical from here, like teachers, some of my background is in teaching. People go there to Liberia and help train teachers. Or you have the nursing association, like other people are doing. They put together containers and things and ship to Liberia to be able to help people. Those are some of the things that ULAA needs to do. They have done it in the past, but this current leadership is lacking that. They sat on their hand. They've done nothing. They destroyed the union. They killed the union. And ULAA needs to be resuscitated. That's why I'm running for president to make that change.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I appreciate your response. I know we don't have much time, and I would like to give this time over to my colleague, Minister Levi. Mr. Levi, can you hear me?
Yes, Ben, I can hear you loud and clear. I just want to say thank you to you and the team here for everything that has been said. I want to say bravo on taking this challenge, Mr. Kamara. It's a big task. The union organization of every Liberian organization, or the head organization for every Liberian organization here in the diaspora, is a good thing to do. It's a big journey ahead. And I want to say thanks to all of your colleagues, or those other candidates that are also running on this ticket as a team. Having said that, you serve as a former president for the Pennsylvania chapter, and you attended, like you say, every convention, all of the meetings. What did you do? What were some of the suggestions that you made that were turned down, that would have revived or resuscitated this embroidered organization?
So I will start from when I was president for the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania, and I'll tell you what I did. Besides the youth summit that I organized in 2008, there were two instances. I hate to speak about it, but one of them is a little bit traumatic for the family that were involved. On December 26, 2008, my community was engulfed with fire and 7 persons died. The very next morning, I was ready and provided the kind of leadership and the direction, and were able to raise money and help our members to bury their loved one. Again, around the 2008, 2009, we were here early in the morning when the Ghanaian soldiers broke into Bujumbura camp. I was awakened by that call. In the next 3 or 4 hours, I was able to convene a community meeting, and we drafted a press statement and raised over $1,000 during the presidency of President Weti. Thanks to him for his leadership, and we were able to contribute immensely to the torture our fellow citizens were going on or were experiencing in Bujumbura camp. Now you ask, what are some of the suggestions? Some of the suggestions that is not only me, but all Liberians, have been given to ULAA. For example, in 2016, when we attended the Buffalo conference, Buffalo Assembly, I chair the educational committee, and recommendations at the time was that, we should contribute towards scholarships and other programs within the union so that Liberian children can benefit from it. Well, this current president, that project was turned over to him by President Coney, and we haven't seen anything that have been done with it. Like I said to you, if you look at the pictures that have been posted all around, chairs were bought, but the school project inside just evaporated. So those are things that, for example, like I said, I contributed $700. I lost an election in 2017, but I felt that Liberian children needed to benefit from the educational system so that they can have a fair chance. So I gave $700 of my campaign money, right? Because I wanted to see the kind of relevant changes. That is something that I wanted to see. But you think it meant anything to this current leadership? And of course, the person who wants, to take over as president? No. So anything their hands touch, Reverend, they destroy. They got no vision for change, and that's why you need a change agent, somebody who understands, somebody who has a track record, and somebody who has the experience. And with a core of individuals that have tapped, that have brought together to lead ULAA, everybody, all the people that have met them, including my vice president and this Eastern Region vice president, who will bring back Massachusetts, who will help to bring back Rhode Island, and of course, our more chapters. We are ready from day one, and we'll be able to give Liberian people a new breath of air.
We are ready for day one and to be able to give Liberians a new breath of air. That brings me to my second question. Oftentimes, people collect money from Liberians in the diaspora in the name of aiding our Liberians back home or helping chapters over here. And like my colleague said earlier on, we found out that these very people turn on to become serious politicians back home, contesting for political offices. Where is your team stance on accountability when it comes to the new ULAA that you envisage?
Reverend, I'm already having a little bit of difficulty, but I think I got a concept of your question. Is about collecting money and doing what you promised you're going to do, right?
Yeah, again, let me just reiterate. I said, like my colleague Paulo Fasa said earlier on,
yes, I hear you.
Yeah, oftentimes, people come on board, they want to be presidents of ULAA, they want to be this of ULAA. At the end of the day, we see them being involved with Liberia politics. They collect money. Sometimes we don't get no clarity when it comes to accountability, how the people money is being spent and what have you. I'm asking you, what is your leadership or your team that is on this platform stand when it comes to accountability for the new ULAA that you envisage?
Very wonderful question, Reverend. And I thank you for that question. One of the pillars of my platform here is effectiveness and transparency. That effectiveness means that as a social worker, we try our best to ensure that whatever we do has to meet the requirement of best practices. So my leadership will be effective to the point that any project that we want to tap, that we want to involve ourselves in, there will be a complete assessment. There will be a complete review that will pass through my administration, the national administration, and then it will involve the national leadership. These are chapter president and then the board. This is how we will be able to sell the ideas so that when they come as a project that needs to be implemented, then of course it has been tested, it has been evaluated, and is ready, to be implemented. You talk about money, transparency, all of our records. I have somebody who has a PhD in accounting. All of our assets, all of our finances will be made public, will be something that everybody we can see at any given point in time. And we will go strictly by our budgetary allocation that will be approved by my administration, the National Leadership Council, and the board. And I will tell you this, a case in point. Currently, this leadership that wants to again do dress right dress because they've done nothing, they've sat on their hands for the last 3 years. They waited until 6 months to the expiration of their term. You know, all of you know, that there's no way when you reach to your last year, you are a lame duck president. Something that you didn't do the last 3 years, you can't come implementing new program. What did they do? They got up, one night they went to bed, they dreamed, and they got up, they packed their bag and went for safari to Liberia and said they want to open a community bank. And then they said they want to open a resource center. How do you open a resource center when your community in the United States are not even empowered enough? How do you open a resource center when you have broken chapters, when you have chapters that belong to the union who don't benefit in anything at all? But you say you want to open a community bank. What did they do? They did no need assessment. They did not go through the ranks and file, even of the national administration. They just took $4,000. And thank God to this, my vice president that will be joining me. She cried out, they returned the $4,000. Now they're going back again and sneak out another almost $5,000. And then they go on and buy land. How do you, in the real world, when you have 60 days, less than 60 days to leave power, for you to begin to invest in real estate when you are just about to leave power? So, Reverend, my leadership will not do that. Every aspect, any program that I undertake will be discussed, it will be vetted, it will be thoroughly evaluated before it can be implemented.
Thank you so very much. I know we got a couple of questions or concerns on the Facebook. We will be getting to that soon. But finally, before I leave you, I want to know, where do you stand, or your team stand, when it comes to the dual citizenship issue that is currently in Liberia? As we all know, too many Liberians are having problems with the dual citizenship issues. Some of which want to go, or women want to go back home, but they can't go back home. Some of them want to work in the government. They can't work in the government. They have that education that you're talking about. They have that logical resources that you're talking about, but those things cannot be contributed to our country because of the kind of a barrier that has been set, that you cannot be citizen of America for now and be citizen of Liberia. What is it that you're really thinking about? What have you put into place to be able to address the concern of many Liberians that are here in the diaspora?
To answer logically to that thesis statement, I am for the dual citizenship. I think once a Liberian, you are always a Liberian. There are other countries in Africa and across the globe that have dual citizenship, and I think the same thing should apply to Liberians. A lot of us have fought for that dual citizenship. I must give credit to one individual, Weti, who continued to fight, for that dual citizenship, and currently is even taking a new trend. Recently, when the oxygen tank were purchased in central Liberia, because in fact, yesterday I saw again, water and everything was sent, which I also contributed to the oxygen tank. When you meet the needs of the people, it changed their mind. So, but this is what it is. As much as an enormous work has been done, I think that the dual citizenship strategy has been a trickle down. Trickle down meaning we're dealing with national legislature and government officials. All of that are good. But one of the things that I did while I was in Liberia, working with the National Teacher Association in Liberia, and my background as a student leader, one of the things that I learned was that the organization that make up the fabric of the Liberian society. And I always say that the National Teachers Association in Liberia, the Liberian National Student Union, the Market Women, the Wheelbarrow Association, and all of the organization. If I become president, I will sit with those people and sell the idea of the dual citizenship. Then it becomes a trickle up. When those people buy the idea, they will be able to compel and do everything to sell that ideas to their representatives, to their senators, and other people. Then, of course, you have a bigger power, a bigger melting pot. Just as I said that my administration will be the voice for the voiceless, is the same thing we do. Because when you have a stronger union, you have more individuals or organizations that belong to the union, then you have strength. And I said it, in my elementary politics, we say there's no force, however formidable, that a united people cannot overcome. So my strategy would be a trickle-up strategy that will bring about the kind of changes, and would, of course, every effort, every strategy would be applied along with our trickle-up. That is my idea for the dual citizenship.
Well, thank you, our listeners. You are out there, and Mr. Kamara is in studio trying to address some of those questions that you may be having. So I hope you just post your question. We'll be reading it soon. Go back to Solo on the other side of the studio. Solo, you can pick it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister Tados. As you rightly said, if you are following us live on YouTube and Facebook, drop your question, drop your comments, and Canada Shiwoh Kamara is here. They will attempt to answer your question. But I'd like to go to Reverend Reeves. Reverend Reeves is running for the Eastern Vice President. Reverend Reeves, can you tell us exactly what have been your last association with ULAA, and why are you running to become Eastern Vice President? You got to unmute yourself, Reverend. I can get you.
Okay, let me mute. Okay, my last association with ULAA, it was doing President, what's the guy name? Oh man, it was just in Kessley. When Kessley was president, but then we have the late Dennis Curtis as the president here on Staten Island, and I came in by way of one of his vice president, Teddy Brown. Teddy Brown, but then he was a board member and he brought me in, and that's how I started working with a Staten Island Liberian Community Association. And he saw my work and he saw how I was that effective. He took me on and introduced me to Cassidy, and that's how I worked alongside with Betty and to Cassidy. So that's how my involvement began with ULAA. I went there with I think I went to a convention, then the last convention with the president now I'm running with on his ticket. And from the day or the onset I met him, I think I fell in love with him because President then Teddy Brown introduced me to him, and we all chit and chat. But the reason why I see this team as an unique team is the methodology that I have in mind when it comes to community work. Community work in which we can all build is the inclusiveness that we bring on board. And knowing me, Mr. Chair, I believe my belief are that I can help make ULAA a wholesome, functional association that address the social and culture, education, vocation, and recreational needs. And you know my work for that. As a politician, as a community advocate, I bring into play to this team a vision that my brother have introduced as the Eastern Regional Vice President. I will help to bring together the capacity building skills of the various Eastern regional chapters, finding alliance among the chapter in building an effective networking capacity. I will help my team to build a partnership and collaboration force where each chapter looking up for their other chapter. I believe as a community worker, as a leader, we are charged with maintaining the public trucks in ULAA, and that's what my brother have introduced to me. Our ultimate goals will be our member chapter and those who have yet to become members. I think you hear what the president have alluded to. You find around us, you find broken chapters. And how can we make those chapters effective is one of the arm that they have developed. So you have the Eastern Regional Vice President, you have the Northern, and so on. So those vice president are there to help. So my work here as an Eastern Regional Vice President is to bring all the chapters in the Eastern portion that which our present Eastern Regional Vice President have not done. He's done man. He been in position for over years now, and nothing have taken place. So coming on the thing, I want to use the platform, the AEROU platform, to see how best we can work together with that inclusion to develop other chapters that have broken down, other chapters that have never been established, other chapters that have they don't know what to do. So how can we build a force? And I see myself coming along to help. My goal is to work with the elected leadership.
Yes, Reverend. I think you have a lot to give tonight, present. I just want to appeal to the panel. Is it okay that we can go another extra 30 minutes? Because if it is okay with you, Mr. Kamara says maneuver, can we go another extra 30 minutes? Is that okay? Well,
That's okay with me.
all right, good. Reverend Reed, you don't need to be a part of a team because you run it as independent. Why are you joining a team to go for this race? You are an independent person. You're running. And two, you just lost election in the Staten Island Rock community. How sure are you that you're going to win this?
Well, I'm positively sure, and I feel I'm a man of bigger hope, and I see every disappointment is a blessing. It's another stepping stone. And I come from a background where I find myself, if this does not happen, God has a better platform for you, and that's where I come. Though I may have lose the election for Staten Island, I feel probably it was not my time. Do you say I will not work? No, I have given myself again to work, and you know how involved I am. So that does not give me the stop point where I would say, okay, because I won, I didn't win, I stop my work. So my work move on. So I'm of that mind that set for that. If this does not work, go have a bigger picture for me. Even if this does not work, I know that I still have a bigger platform, and that that's my strength to continue working. But the reason why I find myself running is this unique team that I find myself in. Though I'm not a team, but I I, I resonate in their mind and in their heart, and I must tell them I endorse them, and being that I endorse them because of the platform they are put forth, and looking at theirs and looking at mine, they are intertwined. So once they are intertwined, I find myself being a team. Be it I'm not running on their team, I'm running on a single team, but I encourage everyone, if you can run for me or if you can vote for me, I mean, then you can vote for them because they had that mind. And looking at the picture and looking at the mindset, looking at the vision, that gave me the strength to fall on their lap,
Thank you
to
so
say,
much.
yes,
Thank
I'm
you,
walking
Reverend.
on their shoulder.
Thank you, Reverend. Miss Grant, I think we'll follow Kessely. Kessely went to president. Later, he went back to Liberia, became a chief of office staff in the office of the VP, then former VP Boakai. Is it the same trend that you are following here, maybe from Northern vice president? How you want to be elected to a vice president, to when get elected, maybe go to president and later go back to Liberia and maybe get a position? Is that a trend you following? You got to unmute yourself, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Not ready. No. One thing I would tell you, because of my career, I see myself, if I have to go back Liberia, I see myself working as an independent person to help empower women. My when I my graduate when I did my graduate studies, I got my thing in violence prevention and intervention, and it was all about women, helping women. And my thesis, when I wrote it, I wrote my thesis about African women, um, mental health, the mental health system with African women in America. And surprisingly, not a lot of studies were done. Most of my thing I had to get it from Canada and Australia. And then I look at it like, wow. I always go to Liberia every year, only last year because of the COVID. If I have to go back to Liberia right now, 2009, when I got my bachelor, I established an organization that called Liberian Women Voices. And I took it to Liberia. And what I wanted to do there was to be a middle person that would advocate for women, special violence against young girls, and empower them. But when you go Liberia with those things and you don't have your own money, you can't make it. And so I spent 1 year trying to get off my feet. I registered the business, everything, and I decided to come back and see how best I can empower myself, see how I can get the finances to go and do it. So it's not the trend I'm taking to work for the Liberian government. And one thing I tell people, people say, but why you want to go, why people want to go Liberia? I mean, in ULA or you in this because you want to go work for the government. If you are not in position in ULA again, like you finish with everything, and a government see that you can make a change, why not go and do it? It's just unfortunately most of the people that went, instead of making a change, they started a new, they went back into the old thing. You know, people, some government thought they could bring in to make a change, they did not. So that's why spoil people, yeah, spoil the repetition of other people that may rather want to go and do something better. But I will tell you, for me, working with Mr. Kamara being his first president, tomorrow I just want that change through him for us to bring in the diaspora and help our people in Liberia. And if I have the opportunity to go Liberia, I'm just going to do my work with the government and other NGOs to empower women, to stop violence against women. That's my big thing, is empowering women, stop violence against women, and empower women to be in the political arena in Liberia and in America. A lot of my sisters, we are afraid. We like, oh, that's the man thing. No, you have to be strong to be part of it. It's for everybody. So I joined this race to encourage. Maybe I can be an example to one young girl, to my daughter, to another Liberian girl that will see me and say, wow, if this lady can do it among all these Liberian men in ULAA, I can do it too. She been doing it since 2005 and she continue doing it. I can be part of it. And who know, down the road, we may get 4 to 5 women that will continue leading ULAA and doing better.
Great.
So I am not doing it because I want to go and be in the government. And if I can make a change in the government, I'm not going to say no. But
All right.
my goal is to make a change in the diaspora and in Liberia advocating.
Thank you so much. Mr. Kamara, this is not your first time contesting ULAA highest office. Is this your final attempt if you lose?
There's a theory there's a theory that failure becomes only a failure when you stop. So diaspora Liberians need a vision, need a leadership that will bring about change, that will ensure that it does the right thing for the Liberian people. If you look at it very critically, ULAA started as a student organization. Today, that organization is no more student organization. People who came here in the 70s, and got education, some of them have phased out. It's not the same generation we have. Then later on, you have a migration of people who came, during the war or after the war in Liberia. So you have a new breed of citizens, who have come to the United States. And of course, our children who are born here. So if you look at it, you have 3 sectors of, Liberians currently in diaspora. That kind of conglomeration of citizens from a country need someone who has the insight to be able to tap into the relevant resources so that everybody can benefit from the organization. So, my answer to you is that I will keep trying,
Okay.
even if it is not for the presidency, but I'll work very hard to ensure that ULAA does not remain a feeble organization. It does not remain as an organization that people are just sitting in their hands. Every time, after every 3 or 4 years, they change. Look, we have a total mess right now in ULAA. We are going to a convention, right, in maybe about less than 20 days. It was only a few days ago that they were able to publish, the venue, the convention committee, and everything. Why did they do that? Because they got no vibes of democracy, no elements of democracy. They tried first to remove my campaign, disqualify my campaign. Then they went and removed the elections commission. And then now they are making another attempt. This is a really shame. It's a shame. And that's why they need to go. They need to vanish in thin air so that people who understand the work, people who would bring the kind of thing that Liberian expect will be able to do that. And I'll give you my background. I mean, the testimonies are everywhere. I will be able to do that and replicate it for ULAA. So I will work hard with every fabric of my being to make those changes that ULAA needs.
But Mr. Kamara, can we agree that this current leadership achievement is this dual citizenship? Is a yes or no question?
Well, we're not there yet.
Yeah, but they're making an attempt. The whole
No,
thing originated with them. Can we
no,
agree that this will be
I
there?
show you.
Is it a
No,
yes or no? No, it's a yes or no.
that response, that credit, as much as is every, because the dual citizenship thing is that it's a partnership thing. It's not just one. It's not just this administration. I mean, Weti has been working along with other organizations here, even the organization in New York and other places to bring about a dual citizenship. So this administration cannot take credit for it. If it is even anything that needs to go as a credit, I think it should be going to Eminem Weti because he has stood the test of time to make sure that dual citizenship remain live.
Thank you so much. So those who are following us, if you have a comment, we'll be looking at your comment. But I know time is fast spent, Ben.
Thank you so much, Brother. And again, thanks to our panelists for all the various insights.
You could adjust your volume a little bit, Ben.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you, but very thin.
It's very loud.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it okay?
Yeah, we're echo.
Okay, so as I was saying, thanks to our panelists for the various comments that they have to make. My question here comes in as we are about to conclude the discussion today, comes in with the issue of accountability. Mr. Kamara and your team, what are the mechanisms you have in place when it comes to the issue of accountability as an organization that people would trust, rely on, people want to make an investment or do partnership with ULAA? What are the accountability mechanisms that you have in place? That's my question.
I'm really having a difficult time hearing the question. You kind of sounded very low. I didn't get the question at all.
Hello, can you
I
hear me?
got bits and pieces here and there, but
Can you hear me?
no, I didn't get the question at all.
Then you kind of load.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what is the issue. It has to be a technical problem that I'm having at my end here to
No,
get to level.
am I the only one?
No, Ben. Okay, I think we'll go to Levi. Maybe we'll come back to Ben. Let him make some adjustment. Levi, over to you.
Thank you, Soto. I mean, this show tonight is actually amazing. It's so sweet and so wonderful. I just want to say thank you to our guests. I believe that they are on top of their games tonight with answering these questions, and we are hoping that they will be able to address in the same way our audience, Facebook audience, question. But this question goes to our Reverend Reese. Reverend Reese, you served as SECA board chair before. You served as member of the board of directors for so many years. A leadership that grossly um, went against the constitution of SECA. You served for over 2 terms without an election according to the constitution of SECA. You serve an organization that if you ask me to speak about it, I would say it's a field state, and it was led or ran by people that are considered as field leaders, looking at where it is at about this point. You being a chair, a former chair, and I'm a kind of a member, former, let's say former board member, what difference are you going to take upstairs to ULA that you could not contribute to your own hometown? They say the fire starts where it is lighted. What is the difference that you're going to take over there that you could not do during the time of your services in Silka?
Reverend, you got on mute.
First and foremost, I want to dismiss uh, uh, being my turn you being a failed turn you, because if I have not been there with others, then Seka will be in the dungeon. And I see myself carrying the same prelude, the same act of working over to ULAC, and always served as a productive person. When I was a board chair, we got funds. When I was board chaired, our 501c3 was revoked. And with this board chaired acquaintance, we uh, worked on the 501c3, and we got the board, the association again on the on their foot. And I work assiduously and tirelessly. Anyone you will tell you that mine work here on Staten Island or in our chapter being a failure one, then they are not doing justice to themselves and to the community. Yes, we find ourselves as a board member has just a limit. We we try to do what we do and we leave it with the other branch, and the other branch need to accomplish that. As I work on the board as a board member, I was entrusted to work on the again the funding process, and we went ahead with the some of the board member, and then at the time the vice president, I may give him his credit. Well, we in presence of Kevin Richie and the board member Chukuzian, we sat down and we wrote, and we got $85,000 in a grant, this discriminative grant. It's a grant that you spend and the city reimburse you. And there where I can stop, or I could have stopped and left it on with the executive team. Whatsoever the executive team did, we can carry the horse to the water, and we cannot force the horse to drink the water. Coming here on ULAB, I'm one person that love to go to stand as the voice. You know, I went in school around here, and I see a lot of alumni. The school, the colleges here that function well, those sponsors are the alumni. So they are the voice. When they speak, they say they are not giving money or they don't want certain precedent. That institution hear the voice. So looking at the Kamara and Grant team, we see ourselves as a new breed of voice where when we speak and say, look, we're not carrying out, we will not give your support Back home, we need certain things done. That should happen. And if we can come together as a team, as Liberian, speaking with that voice, and that's the voice I always spoke with when it comes to doing community work, when it comes to Staten Island. You know my work,
Thank you
and
very much.
I'm a person that don't give up, and I work, and
I
that's
think
the voice that we're trying to reach out there in ULA, and as ULA gets strengthened, we can use it back home, standing as a voice.
Thank you very much. There's going to be a yes or no. You served in the board for about 7 years, according to my recollection, and within that 7 years, you were elected once. About 7 years. Within that 7 years, as the supervisory body of the legislative body of STILCA, being a board member, under your supervision, leadership was held one, leadership election was held one in 7 years. And the Constitution says that after every 2 years, during your supervision, the organization SICA locks her only hall, according to my recollection. Do you count those as some of your successes? Yes or no?
It cannot be yes or no. Let me get the record straight. In my 7 years, I worked for Lula. I was elected twice, and the first 4 years, in which of course we the first 2 years I was voted, and the second 4 years with orator team. That's the first time I was elected. The the balance 4 years. Okay, let me see. No, 2 years, and the balance of 4 years, I was elected with Abraham Tucker. So if the person that giving you the information is not giving you the information the right way, so I cannot just say yes or no. Yes, we lost a halt that was not properly arranged, and as a board chairman at that time, I stood my ground that we should come and form a management team for us to maintain our hearts because the way in which the horde were brought into play was not properly done,
Okay.
and
Thank you.
that's how they lost the horde.
Thank you,
So
Reverend Reese. Thank you, Reverend Reese. Sorry that the time has caught up with us. We will be hoping to bring you on in the near future to give us good insight as to how you manage starting out in a community association or library community association, SILCA, before going or ascending to that position that you're going for. We don't have much of a time, so I will turn it over to my colleagues there, Ben, for his closing comment and so on. Thank you, Ben. Pick it up on that end.
Hey, man. Are you there, man? We can get you. That's a huge feedback. Ben, we cannot get you. Tonight, I know we want to say thank you to our many viewers around the world. We just want to go to our panelists to give us their closing comment. I will start with Reverend Ree. I'll go to the Vice President, Ms. Grant, then we'll go to the President. Reverend Ree, just in 1 minute, your closing comment.
yeah, in conjunction with the team Kamara and Grant, my objective is to work together in achieving our association and goal to make the difference by impacting others' life positively, to work with the team to develop a driving force and a forum to improve membership chapter. And there where my concentration is on the team, and that's what I believe that what the leader or the leadership would want me to invest my time to see how I can collaborate with those chapters, and seeing our chapters falling apart need someone that will work. And my work in here in Staten Island proof the case that I can be the possible the person that can do the job
Thank you,
and
Reverend.
help others to become effective.
Thank you so much. Ms. Grant, what is your parting comment tonight?
Well, first, I just want to tell you guys, thanks very much for inviting us. And I want the voters, those that are part of ULA chapters, that are coming out September 18th to vote for new leadership. Vote for the Shiwoh and Minerva team with the rest of the people, the rest of the team. If you want change, if you want inclusiveness, if you want to feel the impact of what ULA can do for the chapter for our people in the diaspora and in Liberia, vote for our team, and you will feel it, and you will know it, and you will be part of it, and you guys, the voters, will make those decisions for us to lead us. So please come out September 18th. Come and vote for a new ULA. Come and vote for a change, and come and support us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Grant. Mr. Kamara, before you go, there's one question here I'd like you to take, then you give us your parting comment. Mr. Kamara, what plan do you have to bring all these sub-Liberian groups, Bong, Nima, Lofa, and many more in a diaspora together? This is from Annette Anthony. I want you to respond to this question before you take your parting comment.
All right. Thank you very much, Annette. Yeah, currently, besides the chapters that make up the state membership for ULA, ULA now has 3 county organizations. And that's Magibi, that's Sino, that's Nima, they call it UNICO. We think that as much as that is good, but we need to strengthen that more and bring up more county organizations. So our strategy would be to bring additional county organizations, and the way to do it is to start a discussion, is to reach out to these county organizations and begin to create and structure the requirements that will fulfill and bring about that membership. After we are done with those county organizations, the next thing we would like to do is to work hard and bring in alumni associations for universities, and possibly then the next stage will be a high school. So our plan really is to increase the current number from 3, maybe to even all of the other 16 county organizations, because you already have that. So I hope that answers your question. In terms of the details, once by God's grace we are elected, we'll be reaching out to the leadership of those county organizations. That's the first thing we do.
So, Mr. Kamara, what will be your parting comment for tonight as we go home? I know.
My parting comment is, yes, I want to say thank you to your organization for hosting us. We are very delighted that we're able to sit here and give you an idea, an agenda about our thought. We're not going to make too much of big promises here, but what we can assure you is our track record. Our track records, speak for itself. Taking $700, giving it to the current administration for a school project that we can't hear anything about. My leadership stepping in when there was a disaster in my community, fighting for ordinary Liberians, children, through the Hope in the Youth Summit and many more, are clear indication, because like I often say, the best predictor of what somebody will do tomorrow is what they will do today. So I can do it alone. I have recruited and tapped into well-qualified and talented team, beginning with Reverend Reeves. I heard one of the panelists saying, well, you are independent. No, he's not really independent. He's working with a team. And because our hope And aspiration is that the team will be able to bring the needed reform that we desire. So my closing remarks is the vice presidential candidate next on the platform, Ms. Grant, will be an excellent vice presidential candidate. Since I've been working with her, she has shown that she has the temperament and the understanding, to be ULA vice president. The next person is a very capable lady, Emmanuel Balazer Nambi, who is running our general secretary. That is somebody qualified that will sell to the Liberian people, who would tap and bring digital thing to the secretariat. And I urge Liberians to vote for her. I urge Liberians to vote for Basi. Basi prepares excellent financial report, even though he has been part of the current administration, but he has separated himself because he needs to change. He has seen the reason for change. The next person would be Dr. Will Jala from Georgia. He has a doctorate in accounting, well qualified and versed individual who will actually bring and keep ULA records safe. Then, of course, Honorable Robert Rees, and finally, a talented gentleman. I'm very amazed of him. He's from the Northern region, Honorable Alpha Tonga, president for Columbus, Ohio. This guy, I mean, he's young, but his expertise is unimaginable. He has brought to the team and he bring to the Liberian people a good service. He has an education that he's doing business and helping people to build resources and tap their potential. I can encourage the Liberian, do not miss this crack team. Do not listen to people who have stayed over 5-6 years, have done nothing. All they have to show is a failed leadership, but they're telling you that it will bring a new ULA. They don't have anything in stock to bring for you. We want you to vote for change. Again, Liberians are sick and tired of the same old, and vote your conscience, vote for a new team on September 18, 2021 in Columbus, Ohio. Thank you very much. Those will be my last comment.
Hold your caution, vote for the new team in Columbus, Ohio. That was the closing comment of Shiwoh Kamara, the presidential contestant for the Union of Liberian Association elections next September 18 in Ohio, Columbus. This is how we go home tonight. On behalf of Ben, on behalf of Leva, myself, Dr. Fasa, and we'll be back here next Sunday. I know that this is technology. There's a lot of tracking from Ben in. I know it happened. Until then, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night. Good evening.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
I love you, darling. Lord, you are the master. I love you, darling. Lord, you are the
Advise you guys, thank